So Sue, we're still at the TSC.
Yes.
We are standing with Corey Mandell, who we were just telling blew our minds last year with the bi-sociation talk.
Well, thank you.
Dude.
Thank you.
And we find that every time we come to this thing...
I was lucky enough to get a seat on the floor, because that room was packed.
That was packed. Yeah.
It was intimate.
But every time we come to these things, we start out trying to write for the blog and say, this is what, this is so-and-so talked about this, so-and-so talked about this, but literally halfway through each talk, we start making notes for ourselves.
Right.
And...
Because you guys are writers.
Yeah.
Well,
you can't turn that off.
And I just love what you do. I mean, I love the way you present, because you're fun, you're interactive, and you've got the history and the cred to be talking about this stuff. I mean, you've had tons of, which makes you sound really old, but not old. Tons of experience writing film. So how do you make that transition from writing to coaching people the way you do?
So I love teaching. I always loved teaching. I also did stand-up. And so actually when I came to LA, I thought I was going to be like the next Jerry Seinfeld. That was my plan.
Right.
So I did improv and I did stand-up, and then my screenwriting career started. So I did that. But the way I did it, I was like home alone a lot. Mm-hmm. And I actually got really lonely. And I started getting like really in my head, which was like a weird place to be, like all the time.
Yep.
I know.
So UCLA, I kind of talked them into letting me teach. I didn't know that I could do it, but like they were like, because I graduated from UCLA. So I started teaching. It was like a drug. I loved it. And so like my plan always was like, I just love teaching so much. I want to do as much as I could. And then when the writer's strike happened, now several years ago.
Yeah, that was 2008. Right?
Yeah. So I suddenly had a bunch of time. I was on the picket line, but I wasn't writing. So my wife's like, start teaching more. You should start, because you complain all the time. I don't want to hear it anymore. Like, go, you've got time now.
Do something.
Yeah. So I started doing more and more teaching, and it was like, I just fell in love with it. It was like, this is what I meant to do. So that's really where I made the transition.
Very cool. Now, the whole bi-sociation thing last year literally blew our minds.
Thank you.
And we both kind of walked out of it going, okay, well, what if we do this? And then did this. And it just started a conversation for probably the better part of a week as we started batting ideas around.
Awesome.
And then, I mean, how do you choose what to talk about each time? I mean, do they come to you with a list of topics saying, this is what we're kind of the theme of this year's TSC? I mean, or how do you choose?
So I had a client who, so I'm not an agent or manager. A client is like someone's engaged me to help them with their script for like a short period of time. And their agent or so Glenn, who runs Meridian, I'm not sure if his moniker is agent or manager of this person. Anyway,
whatever label we're putting on him.
Whatever label. I just call him like super dude. Like he's so great, he's so smart. And he was in LA, so we hooked up for like coffee. And like after 3 minutes, I was in love with this guy. Like he's so smart, he's so knowledgeable about story, and he's so passionate about writers. And you would think, well, all agents or managers are like that, but it's not true. Yeah. He's really exceptional. So then he started talking about the conference, and I just basically started begging, like, I want to be involved. I want to be involved. Like, if he's doing it, I want to be involved. And then, so then Kim and Kent, who produce it, they were in LA, and basically we just got together, and they're like, give us some topics. And I ran a bunch of topics by them, and they said, the story engine bi-association thing. I don't think anyone, because no one else teaches that. So they're like, well, let's throw it against the wall, see what happens.
Because I love that stuff. I mean, and the story engine thing looks fantastic this afternoon, which should have been this morning. I was totally ready for it this morning.
No, but I'm so glad I didn't have to compete.
Right?
And I got to see that.
Yeah.
So she was amazing.
Talk, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, she was amazing.
Yeah, I was just like, there's more notes.
No, actually, when I was looking at the lineup, I'm like, no, I don't want to be teaching when she's doing it. And then this morning, when they called me, like, would you mind switching? I was like, yes. That was it. It was like everything lined up perfectly. No,
you heard like everybody in the room this morning was like, oh, good.
Yeah.
Now I can do both.
Now, as a writer, do you come in and learn things as well from
Oh, yeah. I sat in on every session today.
Yeah?
Oh, like, I mean, when you've got, like, the best and you've got such amazing, experienced showrunners, it's like, absolutely. Like, I've learned something from all these people.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love
They're
the fact,
brilliant.
Yeah, that everybody here, we were talking about it yesterday, how it's like going to university, but the fact that everybody wants to really learn. I mean, it's just such an air of creativity around the entire place. It's amazing.
Right.
It's just...
Yeah, everybody comes in the door to be a sponge and just absorb as much as we possibly can.
Right, and there's it's so different from LA because, like, in LA there's so much ego.
Yeah.
And, like, I see these like amazingly successful showrunners sitting on other sessions, and it's like they just want to learn. Like everybody just wants to get better, and it doesn't matter what level you are. You're a human being. You're capable of getting stronger.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But in LA, it's like, oh no, I'm a working writer. I don't, It's like all
I don't need you to influence
I already,
me.
I know
I've
my
got this.
thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas we're Canadian, we're like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Tell me more. Yeah.
Tell me
Sorry,
more.
can I buy you a beer? Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's so awesome to come up. Everyone's like, they're so smart and they're so friendly, and it's like, what? Why are you so friendly? What's going on with that?
What's the motive
What do you
there?
want from me?
What's the ulterior motive?
Thing?
Yeah, wait a minute.
Something else going on here. But yeah, I love.
Your friendship comes with an ulterior
Right, it
motive.
totally does.
That is such an
Because-
LA thing. But I'm always on edge because when I first got here at night, I was like, it was a long flight because it was delayed. I was disoriented,
Oh, no.
and I was walking down the street and it was cold, and I bumped into someone, and not on purpose, but it was so clearly I was the bumper, and she was the bumpy, and she immediately said, "Oh, excuse me," and I was like, "Why did you say that? what is like what?" And she just like apologized for something I did, and I'm like, This is not
LA,
United States.
Did she take my wallet?
Yeah, exactly. I was suspicious. I called my wife. I'm like, someone just apologized in the street. What's up with that?
I'm not happy here. What's going on?
Who are these people?
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I personally love knowing that you're coming to these things because we
you.
love sitting in on your stuff. Because, I mean, it's hard to rate who we learn the most from. But, I mean, of all the stuff we learned last year, the bi-sociation thing is the thing that totally blew my mind.
It's still going. Like, I went back to my first novel that I self-published.
Congratulations.
And I was like, I know how I want to change it a little
Yeah.
bit to pull it further apart and, like, throw it together and make it stick differently. And I was like, this makes it all so much better. I just haven't had time to actually write
and it's
it.
fun.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that's what happened with my writing is that I read it the once and I'm kind of like, and I'm done with it. Because it's out of my system, and I think that's what it is for me. It's an emotional release.
Right.
Whereas now I want to go back and say, okay, well, what can I use that I've learned here and from everything that I've learned from you guys, and just pull it apart further and just twist it and make it better. And I love that. I mean, these conferences are amazing for all of that.
Yeah, and listening to I think that's the theme is everyone is like, how do I make it better?
Yeah.
And that's like when I work with writers, I can always tell who's gonna make it and who might not have as good of a chance. Because I think some writers, and I understand this, and you guys know this, it's so incredibly hard to write a good script where everything makes sense. Yeah. There's strong characters, and then it's funny or thrilling, and okay, that is like so hard. You deserve a medal. Now to make that better, so it's like even better. That's where most writers go. I'm done.
Yeah.
And like it is the best script in their writing group. It's the best script in their MFA. Yeah. They feel like it's the best script they could write, and it's true. It is the best script they can write, but they can push themselves to learn to make it even better.
Right? Yeah.
That's, I think, what separates. That's what these people do and have done their whole lives, I would imagine. Right. And that's what a lot of writers don't quite get, is that when it's great, you've got to push to become...
Just to get through that wall.
Yeah.
Exactly. And,
And you're not going to get that without feedback and criticism.
Right?
Because you have to be able to take that as well and then... like, you know what, you're right, and I fucking hate you for it, but at the same time...
Oh, we can swear in this?
Oh,
You
yeah.
can swear whatever.
Yeah.
It's the internet.
And I think that's it, is that, I get to that point where I'm happy with it and I want to share it with a couple people, but I think sharing it with more people just opens you up because a lot of the stories tend to be personal because that's where you're writing from.
Yeah.
You're doing it right.
Do you want to share that with somebody and then get the feedback where they're just...
And then have them go like it sucks.
Yeah.
Like, basically, I suck.
Your life sucks.
Yeah.
But that's obviously the key is you have to be able to write it personally.
Yeah.
But then you can't personalize the feedback because then you realize they're actually giving feedback on your work and not on you, even though that work was so personal. And that's you guys know that. But that's obviously a big thing.
Yeah, we're knowing it and then knowing it.
Feeling it,
yeah.
So I don't know if this helps, but this is what I do when I work with writers, and it's what I do as a writer, is I always give people the 3-minute rule. So the 3-minute rule is, so there's a great book that if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. It's called Mindset by Carol Dweck. Okay. And it talks about the difference between the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. And this is the only book I make all my students read, the only book. And so the fixed mindset believes that we have all the talent that we have, it's like we're born with it. And the growth mindset says we can develop new talents all the time if we do the right kinds of work. Now, but the key is the fixed mindset personalizes feedback and the growth mindset doesn't. So if I give you guys a script, okay? And I'm like, I want you to read it, and I want you to be totally honest.
Okay.
Just totally honest. There's a part of me
man.
that wants you guys to say the most brilliant script ever.
I've ever read.
I'm like,
this is amazing. Yeah.
I'm in awe that I'm actually get to talk to you. Like, I don't want to write anymore because now that I see how great writing can be. Right?
I suck. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's my fixed mindset.
Yeah.
And the fixed mindset desires an outcome. And when it doesn't get that outcome, it throws a temper tantrum. Now, the growth mindset's different. The growth mindset craves the truth. It wants to know what you love and what you don't love and why. Not like, why didn't you love, but why so that I can learn from it.
Yeah.
So the fixed mindset, when we don't get the feedback we want, we have two choices. There's something wrong with you, the person giving me the feedback.
Right.
And you see writers all the time, like, oh, that person was an idiot.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah.
He didn't get it.
He didn't get it. I actually heard a writer once say, so this manager read my script and said that the main character was derivative and not compelling. And so he shouldn't be a manager. Like, what does he know about scripts? Because in the fixed mindset, the only other choice is there's something wrong with me.
Right.
The writers go there. The growth mindset says, if I write something, you guys read it, and you have some issues with it. The growth mindset says, there's nothing wrong with you, and there's nothing wrong with me. There's just, I made mistakes that I can learn from.
Right.
Maybe there's some skills I need to get better at, or maybe there's something here I'm going to learn and grow from. And the project's going to get better, I'm going to get better.
Right.
So what I do when I work with writers is, I think it's really exhausting to push back that fixed mindset. Because we have both at the same time.
Yeah.
And so it's a ratio. And to say, I'm not going to be defensive, and I'm not going to take it personally. When you are doing those things, it's exhausting. So what I say is, I'm going to give you the feedback. I'm going to give you 3 minutes if you want. And you can be as fixed mindset as you want for 3 minutes. And throw the temper tantrum. And like say like, I fucking hate you.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. I want my money back because you don't know anything. Or I hate myself. I quit. I'm never writing again.
Right.
Like you can say the most inappropriate things.
Yeah.
More inappropriate the better. These sessions are not recorded. but you've got 3 minutes and you can insult me, you can insult yourself, you can complain, you can whine, you can go to a victim space, you can do whatever you want. Now, when those 3 minutes are up, you're done, and now we're going to work. And it's amazing because writers don't usually need 3 minutes, but like a minute and a half of just spewing all that stuff that you really want to say, that you know you can't or shouldn't say.
Yeah.
They say all that, and then they're like, oh, I feel like great, like, yeah, let's get to
Let's
work.
focus on this. Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, see?
I think I do. I've done like a longer version of that involving alcohol, and then I get up the next day and I'm like, okay.
No, I'm ready. Yeah.
Now I'm ready to go back and actually look at this.
That's the real hardcore professional way.
Yeah. That's how I know I'm a writer.
Yeah.
There's
Corey,
booze.
that is amazing. And then, once again, see, we didn't even have to get into his session yet. We've already learned even more shit.
I know.
I love it. Love it. Corey, thank you so
All right.
much. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Do we have to shake up highs?